My name is Senator Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State. Mr. President, let me join Senator Tony in also commiserating and paying condolences to those who lost their dear lives. Mr. President, Sansani, Kalindi, Fawashi are all familiar villages to me. You recall that Gombe was part of Bauchi State, and this senatorial district is particularly known to me because I have a relationship that dates back to 40 years. And therefore, when I see these things, I remember the good old days during Christmas, around periods like this, that we traverse for a week before Christmas between Gombe, Kansani, Pawashi, Belleri, Kaltungo, and all those areas. We spend like very good 1 week transversing to commemorate the Christmas period of every given year. And this kind of sweet memories still linger in some of our minds. And that the signal that this marauder sent is that people should not enjoy their Christmas. But Mr. President, I don't know how many times as Parliament are we going to be discussing these issues which has become a tradition. Month in, month out, we bring some of these things to the notice of the Nigerian authority. But by and large, I think we need to go beyond these issues and try to take a stock, a holistic stock, Mr. President, especially at this Ember period, and try to come up with ideas as to why the persistence from one state to the other, especially within the northern Nigeria and some part of eastern and southern Nigeria around this period of time. These problems are becoming pervasive, and the non-state actors are gaining grounds to make signals that all is not well, and probably we are not in control. I think this chamber must raise to expectation, Mr. President, and do the needful. I believe this motion is apt, is timely, but I do not think we must keep on doing what we are doing and bringing in same arguments without resolving change. Lastly, Mr. President, I'm concerned. Throughout this motion, my brother did not mention the role of the state government. You and me, as a former governor, I wasn't, you know over 500 million, the least, is paid to some state governors for what they call a security board. Senator Dixon said that's not true. I have governor's friends. Mr. President, my argument, it is not whether 500 million is for a security board, but I know as a matter of fact, as a matter of institution, that every state government or governor has what he calls security board. I'm not sure about the amount. The issue is, what does that security board represent? Mr. President, you're a governor. I want governors here. I want you, sir. I want governors who are here. What does that security board represent? And why is it every time there are security issues, Nobody mentioned as the role of the governors. Why is the role of the governor? What are they supposed to be doing with the security board? Even though maybe that is the way of thinking. But I'm concerned, Mr. President, that every time we do these things, almost on a need basis, no mention of what a governor could do or can do. I know that chief security officers of their state, the Constitution says so. Governors are the chief security officers of that state. The controlling apparatus, of course, is in Abuja, but what is the role? We need to do that. And when we do that, then we need to evaluate and find a balancing act. What a state governor should do, what the president should do, what the chief of army staff should do, what the inspector general of police should do, and so on and so forth. And that is my concern. But this is a beautiful motion, and we'll commensurate with them. Mr. President,
Thank you. Well, I won't put, but on what the governors are doing with security votes, I think when you will become a governor, you will find out. That's number one. When you become a governor, you will find out what they do with the security votes. That's the first one. Secondly, Senator Alero will tell you that the amount of, how do I call it? The amount of attempts at insecurity that you stop or you void are more than the ones that come to the public. And then those ones are never reported. So sometimes the security votes will go to even stop the criminals in their tracks before they carry out their nefarious acts. But those ones are never reported because it's only bad news that is good news. The press can never report anything that is very good. But it is true that the state governments have a role to play and that they cannot hand over security to the federal government alone. And coincidentally, even the state government, security is everybody's business. If we need to be secured, every Nigerian must be part of maintenance of security, peace and harmony in each part of the federation. So I think it's a good motion. But DSP, before you say anything, Senator Danduse wanted to say what?
To register my solidarity to my friend, distinguished Senator Anthony Siaku, and also extend my condolences to the people of his Central Zone that lost their lives, and wish those that had injuries quick recovery. Mr. President, we need to do something about what the bandits are doing almost everywhere in this country, particularly in the northern part of the country. For us in the Northwest, it's no longer something new, it's something we face every day. But to have this extended to some parts of Northeast where this problem did not exist before now, I think it's something that all those that are given the responsibility to restore peace and order in that area should stand up and deal with this matter so that it doesn't get to the stage we are now in the Northwest. And I quite agree with the mover of the motion, and I also support him that all that needs to be done should be done to make sure that it does not happen any longer. That everything that needs to be, of course, Senator Abdul Ningi raised an issue that government should come in. Yes, government should come in, and as said by you, by the Senate President, the issue of security is everybody's business. Not only the state government, everyone, even individuals, should come in to help, to assist the people of that area, to make sure that it does not happen again, and to extend every assistance possible to those affected by the nefarious act of these bandits. We shouldn't allow them to remain alone. We should stand by them. They need our support at this time. Senator Anthony needs our support, and that's why I decided to contribute to this debate. He's a quiet man who is always up and doing to help his people. So we support you, and I'm sure the entire Senate, I urge you, all of you to support his bid to make sure that succor is brought to bear, assistance is brought to bear to his people so that they can have some relief. Mr. President, I me. Thank you.
Observe a minute silence in honor of the deceased residents of the district. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer two, all the Inspector General, please, the Chief of Army Staff, and the Director General of the Department of State Services to investigate, arrest, and prosecute these criminal gangs to serve as a deterrent. Those in support of prayer two say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer three, urge the Inspector General, please, and the Chief of Army Staff to urgently establish police and military joint task force in Biliri local government area to put a stop to the incessant killings. Those in support of prayer three say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer four, urge the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Northeast Development Commission to provide relief materials to the victims to cushion the effects of these unwarranted attacks and killings. Those in support of prayer four say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer five, mandate the Senate Committees on Legislative Compliance, Police Affairs, and National Security and Intelligence to ensure compliance and provide lasting solutions. Those in support of prayer five say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Colleagues, let me, on behalf of all of us, thank distinguished additional prayer.
Thank you, Mr. We had on a previous occasion, in the course of reports of killings from different parts of the country, we agreed and we resolved in this Senate that we will organize a national public hearing with a view to enacting a law that defines the rights and limits of anyone who is carrying out any form of economic activity, including movement of animals, human beings, etc. Because our attention was drawn to the fact that people in the name of ECOWAS are coming from different countries and targeting Nigeria for this kind of heinous crimes. I think we should stop the crime and carry out the resolution that we have passed before and proceed to enact a law that seeks to regulate every one of us. Every man's right stop where the other man's right begins.
Thank you. Any seconder? Yes, Senator Garba.
Sir, my name is Garba Musa Maidoki, Senator.
Yeah.
That laws should be passed for the ranching and so that Mr. Adam Ashimole, am I wrong, right? I saw second. Thank you, sir.
No, don't Senator Garba. Because you are the chairman of legislative compliance, and I've been getting reports from ministries and MDAs that you are doing very well. And so you are following up on most of the resolutions of the Senate to ensure compliance by relevant authorities. And those reports are getting back to me. So I must congratulate you and members of your committee, those who are dedicated. It is not a committee about money. It's a committee that is out to show patriotism. So I had always wanted an opportunity to commend you for what you are doing. So I commend you publicly. Please keep up the good work. But in the meantime, Senator Adam Doshimole has just moved for additional prayer, and you are seconding. So please repeat the additional prayer you are seconding. An additional prayer has been moved and so seconded. those in support of the additional prayer, I'll move and second. They say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the clerk of the Senate, send a piece of paper to Senator Adams Oshomole to write the additional prayer for our record. Yes, Senator Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my dear distinguished Senator Oshomole talked about in terms of regulating and penalizing. But mine is slightly different because animal husbandry is a legitimate business.
No,
Yes.
just give us additional prayer, not lecture.
My additional prayer is that maybe we should use the opportunity of this motion, because we deal with this every time. After now, more will come. We don't pray for it, but that's the reality. Whether we should use this opportunity to mandate, while waiting for the bill sponsored by distinguished Senator Zam, we mandate the committees on national security and agriculture, especially now that the president has established a ministry to deal with livestock issues. Let us mandate them to come up with interact with the executive and come up with a proposal for nationwide ranching as a legitimate business where funds are provided by the federal government. The federal government has to intervene and provide funding, because these herdsmen are actually victims of economic situation as well, carrying cattle from Sokoto and trekking to Bayelsa, trekking to Lagos. These are with no opportunity for
So the additional prayer
yes, so my
is that we should
prayer,
mandate
the Senate committees on national security and the Senate committee on agriculture. Yeah, to interface with the executive arm, the Ministry of Agriculture and the newly established Ministry of Livestock, and come with a proposal for us so that we can look at it.
With a view
to the establishment of ranches, modern ranches,
yes,
that are commercially viable, and safe, both for the herders and also for the locals across the country.
Thank you.
I so move.
Thank you. So, any seconder? Thank the senior colleagues and for the mover of the motion. Each time you bring a motion, you must also put your name. The motion has no name, so if it's going to reflect in our votes and proceedings, there will be no name on it. So as much as possible, like I said, it's a learning curve. So as we proceed, some of these small details will be explained. So I'll urge that Senator Buhari should allow Senator Nweboye to listen to some of these small tips. At any point in time that we bring a motion, our name should be written on it. So that when it is going to reflect in the votes and proceedings, it will show that you were the mover of that motion. Like this one now, nobody knows the mover. You understand? So these small things are things that we must continue to learn as we proceed. Yes, Leader of the Senate. Okay, yeah, so we had earlier approved 1 minute silence for those who were killed. It's a good motion, and unfortunately, we can only continue to urge, and it's almost on a daily basis. We sympathize with those who have been killed, and we pray that those who were injured and are living will receive succor from the intervention of NEMA and the intervention of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And collectively, the Senate is saying, may the souls of those who have lost their lives rest in perfect peace. Can we observe 1 minute silence? May the souls of our late brothers and sisters in Biliri, local government of Gombe State, who were murdered by bandits, marauding our settlers, rest in perfect peace.